Howdy gangsters, welcome to your 30th Android tutorial for my Bring Back with me Travis, and what we're going to get into today is creating that canvas, drawing to the canvas, talk about this holder thing a little bit, and then we'll probably do like one, maybe two more tutorials on this. After we get all done, I'll talk through everything that we've done, so if you guys get a little confused along the way, make sure you check out that little tutorial overview. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to utilize this holder to make sure that we can actually draw to our canvas, make sure the surface is valid, and where we're going to do that is within our run method. And we're going to again do that within this this if statement. If our thread is okay to run, basically, if it's running, then we're going to check if our holder is available, or basically if our surface is available so we can draw to it. And if it is, then we're going to create a canvas and draw to that canvas. And actually, good thing you guys are watching this tutorial, because this was supposed to be a while loop. I'm sorry, not a if statement. So as long as our thread is running, as long as that variable, that Boolean variable is set to true, we're going to do this while loop. So this is kind of like the invalidate. We called that invalidate method. That would just basically cause it to loop through. This time we're actually creating a while loop. So as long as our thread is running and it's okay to run, we're gonna create all our stuff within here. And now we're gonna set up an if statement. Yeah, it's an actual if statement this time. I'm not messing up here, but what we're gonna do within this if statement is say holder. We're gonna say dot get surface, and then we're just gonna say dot is valid. So basically it's like, hey, if our surface is valid, that's cool. But what we're actually gonna do is we're just gonna put an exclamation mark right before this whole method here. And what that's saying is basically if it's not valid. And all we're going to do is we're going to say oops, you don't really have to create brackets, but I'm just going to. But what we're going to do is we're going to say continue. And what the continue method does, if you spell it right, what it's going to do is basically if we write anything down here, it's going to skip over that. It's just going to be like, hey, the surface is not valid, so we're going to continue. So it's going to call back up to the top up here, loop through again. If it's still not available, it's again just going to kind of loop through here, and it's never going to reach this code down here. But if this statement returns a false value, which means our surface is available, it's going to skip this whole if statement, because if our surface is available, it's not even going to call this continue method, so that's going to allow us to access this code down here. And this is where we're going to create our canvas. So what we need to do is we need to set up a canvas. We're just going to call this canvas C. We're going to set this equal to our holder again, dot lock canvas. And basically the way that the canvas works within a thread, or what we're doing here within a surface view, is we need to lock the canvas and then paint to the canvas and then unlock it and display it. So if you guys are creating a masterpiece, you generally go in your closet, you lock the door, you paint like some crazy stuff, and then you're like, okay, that looks good, I'm gonna unlock the door and show it to the world. So that's kind of the same concept here. We need to lock our canvas first, then we paint to it, then we unlock it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say canvas, and let's set up the background color. So we're just going to say draw, and we have this ARGB value. So A is for alpha, and these are all int values. 0 to 255 is the highest that you can go. So for alpha, we want it to have 255. For that way it's not transparent or anything. For a red value, let's put that at like 150. Our green value, let's do 150. Our blue value, we'll do like 10. I don't know, you guys can mess around with the colors. Those are just the values of the red, green, and blue. So again, you can go up to 255 there as well. So basically that's just going to paint our background of the canvas, and then what we do is we relate to our holder again, and we just say dot unlock canvas and post. And then we post which canvas we want, and again we call this canvas C, so that's the canvas we're unlocking and posting to the world. And as long as again this variable is set to true, it's just going to keep circling through. It's going to basically be like, again, our invalidate method that we used, but now it's just in a while loop that's going as long as our thread is set to true. Hope that makes sense. But what we're going to do now is, because this is just kind of boring, we want to draw that bitmap, and we also maybe want to touch the screen, touch the canvas, and allow our activity to do something that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to our onCreate method, and we probably won't have time to do this, all this stuff in this tutorial. But what we're going to do is we're going to say our view, and we're going to say dot set on touch listener, kind of like the on click listener that we've done previously with the buttons and stuff. And we're going to say this, and we're going to allow our class to implement the on touch listener, which appears right here. So that's basically what this is referring to, which listener, the listener that we're implementing. And then we're going to go over to our surface view here and add the unimplemented methods. And if we scroll down to the bottom, we have this onTouch method, which we'll get into in the next tutorial. But basically just change these variable names from arg0 to v for our view, and our motion event from arg1 to me motion event.